Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to Tea Times. Hope you had a good weekend. Today, we're gonna kind of continue on with what we've been speaking about last week. So my goal last week was to give you guys a little bit of an overview of chipping, pitching, and full swing. I think we accomplished that. We talked about a lot of really important stuff, such as chipping technique, BLT. We talked about pitch shots, talked about like how to get the ball up in the air, all that good stuff. What I would like to do now is take that a step further. So in addition to, I guess, how to hit those shots, now we're gonna be talking about how to practice it and how to think about it, how to approach it. And also a little bit about cause and effect relationships. So you guys can become your own coaches. And that's, I think, the goal of any kind of instruction, is to impart enough knowledge on you guys so that when you go out and practice and play, you see what's happening, you see what you're doing, and you're able to kind of be like, oh, okay, here's probably what I need to do in order to improve that for my next shot. All right, so today, what we have set up is just a little chipping drill. If you guys have been out to first tee classes before, guarantee you've seen something like this. We call this zone chipping, pitching, putting, whatever the case may be. But what we have created here is a pretty small field because I only had 3 pool noodles, but we have a red noodle, a blue noodle, and a purple noodle. And so in between the red and blue noodles is zone 1. In between blue and purple, zone 2. And what I'm gonna try to do is hit some chip shots to varying distances. And while we're doing that, I've only got 3 balls today, but while we're doing that, we're going to be revisiting some of that chipping technique. So some of that BLT, some of the important things to keep in mind on these shots, and we'll kind of talk through it. So let's get started. All right, guys, so a quick little recap, little review of what our BLT is in case you missed the last video. If not, I encourage you to go watch it, just because I go a little bit more in depth into all this. So if you see something that's like confusing, go check that last video. Let me know what you think. But so what we're gonna do for our BLT is we're gonna make sure the ball's positioned back in our stance. We're gonna lean our weight towards our left side, and we're gonna tilt this golf club forward. We're gonna angle the shaft forward so that it points up to my left thigh. Something just like this. This is great chipping setup, okay? Now, once we get the setup, that's kind of just the start of it, right? We're all set up. If we're in this position right here, we're set up for success. So once we're set up, what we want to do is make sure that with our stroke, we are getting the proper mechanics down. And now for chipping, I don't know if you guys remember, but for chipping, what we said was this was a Y stroke, just like our putting. We're not using a lot of our wrists in order to do this shot. And the reason why BLT is so important is because if we do the proper chipping stroke without getting our BLT down, we're gonna not really hit that great of shots. BLT is designed to get you set up for success. So BLT, back lean tilt, I'm all set up. What a chipping stroke is gonna look like is something just like this. All right, guys, so by doing that technique, we're gonna be hitting good chip shots. So what comes up next is to practice them. And I kind of showed you guys the drill before. So what we're gonna be doing, I have 3 golf balls here, okay? What I'm gonna try to do is hit the first ball into zone 1, second ball into zone 2, third ball back into zone 1. The reason why this is so important is because basically what we're trying to do is regulate our distance control on different shots. So I should be putting more force and more power into the second shot than the first or the third, right? Makes sense. If you think about what a chip shot is, it's a low shot, still gets up in the air, but it's a low shot that's gonna hit the ground and roll. Obviously here we're in some tall grass, so our ball's not gonna roll very far. So what we're really focusing on here is landing area. So I want a chip shot that's gonna land in between the blue and red noodles. Just like that. That was right in the middle. I feel pretty good about that one. So now, take what I learned from the first shot and increase the power. Easiest way to do that is to take the club back a little bit further. But I'm still gonna maintain that nice Y chipping technique. So going for the blue and purple. Got it. Perfect. Now the tricky part. Can I dial it back down to get into the red and blue section? So come back up. Awesome. I'm extremely pleased with that. I was able to chip into my first zone on the first ball. Second zone, blue and purple. I hit that on my second shot, and then back into the first zone. That's really good. So here's what I would challenge you guys to do. If you do something similar to that, where you hit all three zones first try, woo, good job, first off. Second off, what you can do to make this harder is take your red noodle or your first golf club. You can use a club for this. You don't have to have pool noodles. And move it half the distance closer. So now, what I've created is the same drill, but my zones are much smaller. Means I have to be more accurate with my distance control in order to hit my targets. So I'm gonna do a real quick round of this, see how we do. So between red and blue. See, I went too far. I went into the blue and purple zone. It's okay though, we're learning. So I'm gonna change it up again. I went to the second zone first. Now I'm gonna try to hit the first zone again and then go back to the second zone. You guys can play with this all you want based on what you need to practice. Dang, I went into that second zone again. This is tough. This is tough. First zone, I believe. Well, I hit all three into the second zone, so apparently I need to work on my short chip shots. All right, guys, good job today. That was a pretty short, sweet video. I think that once we kind of get the basics out of the way, the rest is largely on you guys to practice. And so that's kind of leading me into what I wanted to talk about today, which is confidence, right? We, as golfers, so I'll start off with golf and then we'll kind of transition to how that applies off of the course. As golfers, if you have a coach or you have a mentor, they're gonna give you a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of strategies to be successful when you're golfing. So just like if you guys set up with your BLT and you have that nice Y swing where you keep everything together, you keep the wrist out of it, you're probably gonna hit some good chip shots. But in golf, it's super simple, it's super easy to mess up just one little thing and then the stroke kind of goes bad because of that and you end up with not a great result. So what's really important is the practice component. And that's how on the golf course, we're able to build confidence, right? Because when you're confident in your ability to hit a stroke, then odds are you're gonna hit it really good. It's just like if you go to school and you have a test coming up, you study 3 nights in a row for that same test, odds are that when you go sit down and they put the paper in front of you, give you a pencil, you're gonna feel really confident about your ability to score well on that test. Same thing applies for golf. Yeah, you can have the techniques and the tips and the tricks down and understand them, but it's another thing to go out and do them. So let's build some confidence. Get out there. It's a pretty nice day. It's a little chilly. Bundle up. Get your stocking cap on, go hit some of these chip shots. Let's build some confidence.